Hi and welcome to the introduction of UVLS, the Universal Variability Language Server. Let's first have a look at UVL in general. The Universal Variability Language is a textual representation for specifying feature models. Here we can see a simple example of a feature model in VS Code. UVL is meant to be readable and editable by humans and implicitly follows a feature hierarchy by using indentations. You can also see that the UVL feature model contains two parts: the feature hierarchy and additional cross-tree constraints. It also supports recently proposed language features such as non-Boolean features and numerical expressions. Editing this without any support may still be tedious for larger UVL models. Therefore, we will install the UVLS extension to make editing a lot easier. We use the VS Code marketplace and search for UVLS. Alternatively, you can search for this identifier. Simply click on install and you are ready to go. This extension makes it much more convenient to edit UVL documents. As soon as we open a file with a .uvl file extension, the syntax highlighting is applied. We can see keywords like features, mandatory, or constraints, types like string and integer, and custom names for features and attributes. Additionally, the language server checks whether the feature model adheres to the language specification and grammar of UVL. For example, if we remove some indentation, it will state that there is a problem. Same with mistyping some keywords like this string type. The autocompletion also helps a lot in editing and gives suggestions that make syntactical and semantical sense in the current position and context. The UVLS also performs powerful semantic analysis. Here you can see how incompatible types are noted and result in an error. It can recognize void feature models, for example when I add this contradicting constraint that forbids the bike in general, or it can detect dead features, for example with this constraint for the bell. Contradictions are also detected and marked as unsatisfiable, for example when requiring the brake to be disabled. Notice how both parts of the problem are highlighted. Tautologies are also highlighted, as you can see in this simple example. The UVLS also allows working with references within a feature model. You can simply find the definition of references, list all references of a definition, or rename all semantic references of a definition. This works both with features and attributes. Let's now have a look at the configuration function of the UVLS. By clicking on Configure, you are introduced to a web view where you can enter a configuration by your means. Simply extend the feature model and enter different values wherever you like. The UVLS will tell you if the current configuration is valid or not satisfiable. However, it will start with the most simple configuration possible, where only mandatory features are enabled. If you want to save your configuration, simply click on Save and it will generate a JSON file with all the specified data included. You can also show your configuration annotations within the UVL file. Simply click on Show and you will see what values you assign to each individual feature. UVLS has a quite new feature that enables the generation of diagrams that represent a feature model. For this, simply run the command from the command palette, which you open with Ctrl-Shift-P, use the shortcut with Ctrl-G, or press this little button in the title bar of your UVL file editor. This generates a .dot file which is immediately displayed if you additionally install the recommended GraphViz extension. With that, you can also edit the generated file and see your changes in real time. That was a short overview of the Universal Variability Language Server and its extension for VS Code. We are happy to invite you to try for yourself. Cheers!